Okay, all right, all right. So what's going on, everybody? Thank you everyone for coming to our um, like-minded nationwide meetup. We have the pleasure of having Dane and Corey today talking about how to master crypto, mastering crypto. So very hot topic right now. I believe these gentlemen here have a lot of knowledge in it. So we're gonna let them go ahead and talk, and then what we'll do is obviously conversate, have a conversation about what we're talking about today, and after we can do Q&As. Okay, so just hold your questions till after presentation, and then we'll get rolling. So, gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Let's do it. Thanks for having us. And the fact is, we're going along. If you guys do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat so like we don't forget them as we go through, and that'll be an easy way to come back and revisit those. That tends to work out pretty slick. Let me go ahead and, in fact, Eric, would you mind making it so I can share my screen?
Yes, sir.
That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, we're in business. Let me go ahead and share this with you. All right, can you guys see my screen?
We can, sir.
Excellent. All right. So what we're going to talk about tonight is not only can you make an obscene amount of money with crypto from appreciation, but we're going to talk about how some of you guys are real estate people, how you can make more passive income with crypto than you've ever imagined possible. Passive income could come, period. And it's a ton of fun to see the aha moments. You wouldn't buy a rental and never put tenants in it, never fix it up and just sit on it and wait for it to go up in value. Rather, you'd put a tenant in it, you'd do all that stuff, you'd make cash flow. And most people do crypto in such a way where they don't fully leverage what it can do for them. So here's a few examples of some 24-hour reward periods. We'll get into some of the specifics of this as we get into it here in just a moment. My name is Dane Ballwinkle, and I've been investing in real estate for almost a decade and been really blessed. It's been a great experience. I made millions of dollars. I've done hundreds of transactions, and I left from corporate America, or rather, I was pushed out and laid off. I was the second to last hire of my company, where it's supposed to be a good, safe job with benefits, and then lo and behold, 3 months later, the gig was up and I told my wife I was going to do this crazy real estate thing. And man, I tell a story all the time. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to follow the crumbs that God lays down in my path to try to find the path that I can live to my highest individual potential. And I was given some crumbs that led me to real estate. I started digging in, and man, I had been doing real estate for the first 6 months. I'd spent $6,500 in marketing. I'd made 2,500 of it back in a little tiny wholesale deal, and I was pretty well out of money. And my wife, ever wise in our relationship, she said, "You know what, Dane? I believe in you, but you got to make a few bucks. You got to get a job, or you got to do a deal." And I said, "You know, you're not wrong. I'll go and apply for some jobs just to hedge our risk." And I don't know if you guys have ever had an experience like this, but I'm telling you, every time I'd go to put my hands on the keyboard to apply for a job, everything about it was wrong, to a place where like I couldn't do it. It didn't make any sense. And so I kneeled down on the ground and I said, "You know what, God, I feel like you led me to this real estate thing. I want to do it in a really big way, but it's not working the way that I'm currently doing it. If this is where you want me to be, then I need you to shake some things loose." And I'm committed. I'd gotten a list of people that I could call from as a tax delinquent list in my county. And I said, "I'm going to call these guys over and over and over again until I either make some money or I lose the house and cars." And my wife did not know that, and she would have left me had she known that was my commitment I made to God. But I made that commitment, and I was really blessed. About 45 days later, I closed a deal. I made 70 grand on that wholesale fee, and that was as much as I was slotted to make the whole year previously in my corporate job, and my mind was just blown. It was really open. Fast forward, I went and built a really cool flipping and wholesaling company. We were really blessed. I learned a ton, built a little rental portfolio, 25 units. And man, I just started feeling like change was coming again. My wife came to me again. She said, "You know what, Dane? I want to go on this cool family vacation." And I said, "Great, let's go. But I want to do a few more deals first." And ever once again, ever the wise one in our relationship, she said, "You know what, Dane? We've got the money already, but you don't have the freedom. And we should be free." And I said, "You know what, you're right." Well, same thing. I knelt down and I prayed and I said, "You know what, God, I want in this next iteration, I want something that I make way more money, that's way more passive and gives me a ton more freedom as lead me." And I stumbled into cryptocurrency. I've been buying cryptocurrency since 2017. Started taking it really seriously about 3 years ago. And man, within about 4 months, I had taken $100,000 and created a crypto portfolio that cash flowed 50 grand a month on autopilot. I didn't need to do anything from a management perspective. I built it once and it just printed money. It was mind-boggling. You don't do that in real estate. 100 grand make you 50K a month, and I was hooked. So once again, just trying to follow the crumbs that God puts in my path. And now Corey and I have the privilege of building the dopest community where we're focused on making as much money as humanly possible with cryptocurrency and then preserving that wealth with real estate.
So me and Dane's story kind of it's a little bit different. We met though about 10 years ago, maybe about 8 years ago actually, even though I've been doing real estate about a decade, in a mastermind, and we were building like type businesses, so we stayed friends. But my journey, you know, it was a little bit different, as if I went to music school and I wanted to be a rock and roll guy. I had long hair. I was playing around on stages in Hollywood, but what I was also doing is a lot of drugs and alcohol. I was going nowhere fast but to my deathbed. And I tell everyone, real estate saved my life because I got into real estate chasing the carrot of money. And by being around people like yourselves in masterminds who are always trying to get better spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially, it forced me to level up. It forced me to learn to love myself. It forced me to get closer to God. And now I've been sober for multiple years. I have a family and I live in Puerto Rico. And I owe that to real estate. I really do. And so I give credit where credit's due. But through my journey of real estate, I built an absolute beast of a wholesale fix and flip company where I was doing between 30 and 60 deals a month nationwide. I was based out of Arizona. And even though it saved my life and it made me a millionaire, I also built a prison. And it was a prison that I could not get away from. I worked 14 hours a day. I was in multiple lawsuits all the time. I was in the lawsuits with the Attorney General. I was in lawsuits with FTC. I was in lawsuits with employees. I was in lawsuits with homeowners. It was not the vision I have, the dream I had for myself. And so I went on a spiritual journey in 2022. I already been dabbling in cryptocurrency. And if you guys haven't read the book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, I highly recommend reading that book, where it will teach you to stop clawing your way to success and let God and the universe guide your way to success. And I started taking crypto seriously. I started treating it like an actual asset class. I joined masterminds. I hired private mentors, and I started going to events that were based around cryptocurrency. And when I started treating it like an actual asset class, I started making so much money by the end of 2022 that it paled in comparison what I was making on my real estate company. It was all passive too. But that's when I did shut the company down. I went in and fired all 15 of my employees. I even had a coaching business going on. I wound the coaching business now. I went all in on crypto. I moved to Puerto Rico, and I've truly bought my time back. I'm able to do with what I want, with whom I want, however I want, and I make more money now than I've ever made in my entire life. It's absolutely amazing, and that is because of cryptocurrency now. And so, like Dane had mentioned, since we were doing all this cool stuff in crypto, I had the real estate mastermind. A lot of my guys, and same with Dane, he had a lot of his peers reaching out to him. They started reaching out to me and like, "Hey, teach me what you're doing in crypto." It's like, At the time, I didn't want to. I was very resistant. And Dane came to me and he's like, hey, man, let's just like show these guys what we're doing. And that's how the community was born. And so now we also have a community of 165 members in there where we're teaching how to give a little bit of exposure into cryptocurrency. And so that way, if they want to buy their time back, they can. Or maybe it's because they want to 10x their real estate goals, because you could do that too. Like Jane said, we want to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. And so that's kind of the mission that we're on here.
I'm curious if you guys know Bob here, go ahead and just put in the chat. Put a let's do a number 1. If you know Bob or you've seen Bob's face before, put a number 1 in the chat. This is Robert Allen. He's the GOAT. He is a real estate guru, has been for multiple decades, made millionaires all over the world. And in fact, he's done a $1.5 billion in real estate deals over his career, which is pretty freaking awesome. We met Robert at an event in Dallas about a year and a half ago, coming up on a year and a half. He came up to us and he said, you know what, guys, I know that everything's going digital and I need to find ways to protect my wealth. I miss Bitcoin and I missed Ethereum. I'm not missing this next wave of cryptocurrency. And I know you guys are the ones to do it with because you have a system. You're not guessing here. You have a real system. And so I want to jump in. I want to work with you. And man, the reason we share this with everybody is because if somebody like Robert, who's already made his money, who could sell off into the sunset, if somebody like this is looking at cryptocurrency at this late in the game to be able to preserve their wealth, then I think that it makes sense that everybody might want to have a look as well.
So let's talk about the passive income that we're all sold on from all the gurus. Look, I love real estate, guys. I do. And it's the real estate's not the problem. It's the people in real estate that make real estate problems, right? But there's nothing truly passive about real estate. There isn't. I had a rental portfolio. Dane did. I obviously had a fix and flip and wholesale company. That's definitely not passive. That's the exact opposite. But there's just nothing more, unpassive than there is with real estate. Unless you're the money in deals where you're investing in LPs and syndications, it's just not passive. But with crypto, it truly can be, because your computer does all the work. It's not passive for your computer, but it's passive for humans. And that's what we love about cryptocurrencies. Let that do the work while we sleep. We reap the rewards, AKA with money. And then we can go back in and be the money in deals where it's truly passive. I never want to find a deal ever again in my life. And I never want to manage a deal ever again in my life. It's just where the stage I'm at in my life. When I was doing between 30 and 60 deals, I literally wanted to kill myself because all the headaches and the lawsuits and the pain I went through. It's just something I never want to do again. And so the way I will participate in real estate again is by being the money in deals. And that's what we're so excited about our community, is because when we're starting to take profits, and we'll kind of get in this in a little bit with the market cycles, but when we're starting to take profits at the market cycle top, we're going to go back into real estate, into these guys' deals. We got apartment syndicators in there, mobile home park guys. We got a lot of fun guys in there. It's going to be awesome to be able to be the money in these guys' deals when the time comes.
Now, before we get to all the passive income stuff, we want to share the most important thing that you can take away from all this here right from the jump. I think most people are pretty familiar with there being a cycle with real estate. Most people are unaware that there is a similar cycle in cryptocurrency. And in fact, if you play the cycles properly, you can make a truckload of cash. We all know this with real estate. If you go back to 2010, 11, and 12, you should have bought everything and just held it for about 10 years and you crushed it. And with cryptocurrency, it's similar in that you have once again, a cycle and a time frame. The cycles with cryptocurrency, though, are just very short and they're very focused. And so far, we've gone through 3 of these cycles. We're in the 4th one right now. And you want to be in the market in crypto for about 12 to 18 months of the cycle, typically. That's when things are fun. That's when they start popping off and getting really exciting. In fact, Eric said that he's seeing more people talk about crypto on social media. That's because it's starting to warm up, and this is just the beginning of the bull market. you can see right here on this chart, there's this dotted line right here, which is, oops, go back. This dotted line right here represents what's called the Bitcoin halving. Now, we're not going to get into the thick of what all that is. I'm going to give you a huge oversimplification. This is just an event that's programmed into the Bitcoin code, and it happens automatically on autopilot roughly every 4 years. And each time that it's happened thus far, the market went bananas for 12 to 18 months after the Bitcoin halving. We are right here. In fact, I need to move this arrow in just a touch more because the Bitcoin halving is coming up next month in mid to late April, and things are already popping off. We've seen Bitcoin already go back to its all-time highs, and Bitcoin, note to you guys, is not the opportunity anymore. If real estate went on sale, it went 50% off. Well, you'd want to buy it. And then if it came back to fair value, you wouldn't jump in and say, oh, now's the time to buy. But that's how most people treat Bitcoin. They don't want to buy it when it's on sale, but then when it comes back to all-time highs, they're like, oh, now we should start buying. And I see it all over social media. It's really funny how that is. You guys know the name of the game is to buy deals. Buying Bitcoin right now, in my opinion, is like buying a retail deal. We want to buy the stuff that's still heavily discounted, that has huge upside. Now, I'll give you just a few examples. If you would have been around for the last bull run, this last cycle, we want to compare the most recent data. This is pulling comps, if you will, to what's going on right now. These numbers get bananas, and these are factual. You can go and look them up if you want for yourself. But gosh, something like Solana, if you would have been early, you could have literally put $1,000 in here when things were cheap. This is no trading. This is buying once and then sitting on your hands for about a year, and then simply come back about a year later, sold when things were expensive, and turned about $1,000 into $500,000. Something like Polygon, you could have turned 1,000 into $1.2 million in a year. And something like Hex is a top 5 all-time highest performing cryptocurrencies in its first bull run. You could have turned 1,000 into $10 million in about a year, which is bananas. I know how this sounds. It's freaking nuts. It breaks your brain almost. It's so crazy. And we're here to tell you that, look, nobody's going to play this perfect. Nobody bought Hex at the very bottom with $1,000, sold the perfect top for 10 million. Nobody did that. And the beauty of this is that you don't need to. You just need to get most of the meat in the middle. You just need to buy generally when things are cheap down here and sell generally when they're more expensive up here. And if you just do that, I've got news for you, you'll do just fine. A great example is our friend Dylan, where Dylan was early to Hex. He didn't turn 1,000 into 10 million, but he did all right. You know, he turned $3,000 into 900K. I'd take those apples all day long if you could go back in time and do that. And these types of opportunities, they're not everywhere in crypto. You've got to know where to look. And frankly, it's really helpful if you have somebody that can kind of guide you like we do. But if you know where to look, I mean, you can have some insane opportunities. Another one of our friends, me and Corey, were down at their estate in Texas a couple of months ago. And those guys, they bought this 20-acre ranch out in Texas for $300. That $300 in crypto turned into 1.2 million and bought them their estate in Texas. So these opportunities, once again, they aren't everywhere, but they're starting to pop up. And if you have the right guidance and you know where to look, you can change your life in a huge way.
Absolutely. And can you guys see yourself doing this? I mean, it's what we're talking about right now is not rocket science. I mean, this is everyday people are doing this, and it doesn't take a lot. I mean, I hope you guys are following us along. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys can see yourself doing this. But another thing we do want to follow is macro. You know, you get the macro as far as crypto is concerned, which is Bitcoin. Bitcoin controls the entire crypto space, but what controls Bitcoin? Well, besides the cycles, we need to keep our pulse on the macroeconomics. And as you guys know, this is the year of the presidential election. Well, what do they like to do every single time we have a presidential election? Well, they like to stimulate the economy. As you guys know, they've been raising interest rates. They've been trying to tame the inflation that they caused, and so like I believe that they're going to be turning the money printer back on, because whoever is getting in office, whether it be the Democrats, they're going to want to save the economy if they're getting back in office, or if the Republicans get in office, that's just going to be bullish for markets in general, period, in my opinion. It's just they're really good at turning the money printer on, and that is good for risk on assets. And so we have BlackRock, who's buying Bitcoin right now, and Ethereum. We have right here, oh, yep, there we go, the ETF. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the BlackRock ETF that just got approved. You can give me a 1 in the chat if you are familiar with that. It just got approved literally like 2 months ago. And so literally now we have tapped into the biggest liquidity faucet that we've ever seen before. It's absolutely phenomenal, because now money is just flowing in. As you guys might know, Bitcoin hit its all-time high pre-Bitcoin halving, which has never happened before, and that's because of the BlackRock ETF. We have the Ethereum ETF, which should get approved this year. So you add all these things together, Bitcoin halving, presidential election, money printer probably coming back on, the ETFs getting approved. We might be on the brink of a super cycle with cryptocurrency. No financial advice. We don't have a crystal ball, but the indicators are all there. And at the very least, we do know this is the beginning of the market cycle as far as the bull run is concerned. So, I mean, it doesn't take rocket science. You just come in, place a few small bets right here at the beginning of the market cycle, sit on your hands, and then sell at the market cycle top, which like Dane said, which is 12 to 18 months later. Anyone can do this. Can you guys see yourself doing this?
Good. Now, the part that we like to nail down as far as strategy is concerned, a lot of people, maybe like you guys are running and gunning. You've got deal flow, you've got businesses, you're busy with family. Most people are like, man, this is all good and well, Dana and Corey. I just don't have the time nor the energy, or maybe even the desire to figure out this crypto thing and how it works. And so Corey and I, we understand that most people just want to get to the money. And so we took a step back a few years ago and we said, how can we build a strategy where people can win without having to spend a ton of time and energy, without even needing to develop a really strong expertise like we have? And this is what we came up with, and it's working fabulously. So the strategy is really simple. We want to buy here in early 2024 in the beginning of the cycle. We want to create cash flow as we're going through it. And we want to look to take profits in 2025. If this next market cycle is like any of the past, we should see the next crypto top somewhere between April and October of next year. So very simple. Once again, like Corey said, anybody can do this.
Excellent. So let's talk about some passive income strategies. I'm going to keep this really simple, guys, though, because I mean, you can get really deep in the weeds in this stuff, and we'll be here all night. It's a lot of fun. I get deep in it all the time because I geek out on this stuff. But for the sake of time, let's keep it pretty simple. So one way to make passive income is through what we call crypto dividends. Just how when you own a stock in Coca-Cola, or Coca-Cola is a good one because they pay stock dividends every single quarter. You can buy a cryptocurrency that's attached to a protocol on the blockchain where it earns fees and it pays out dividends. So just like how you earn profits from a business, it's real world cash. It's the same thing. These protocols live on the blockchain, but they're just code. There's no management team. There's no CEO. I'll give you an example. There's one protocol where basically you could do leverage trading. And when you pull the leverage trade out, now we don't leverage trade, but other people will, they have to pay a fee by the hour. By us holding the coin that's attached to the protocol, we get paid the fees. Another one is here. This is a protocol that I got into about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. Now, I was really early on this. I ended up putting 2 ETH into each one of the monthly payouts here. And about at that time, a 0.2 ETH was about $480, but you can see it turned into $10,983. I got a 2,157% on my money on this particular protocol. Now, I was early on this, and that is the name of the game. You guys have to be early and find these early if you want to get these outlandish gains. I know you look at this and go, that's crazy, and you could go and still participate in this protocol, but you're not going to get these type of returns anymore because I was early to the when it launched. So really simple. I mean, if you had somebody doing the due diligence for you, if you knew where this stuff was at, you would just go and place a few small bets. Anyone can do this. I hope you guys are following me so far. You guys follow me? Good.
Now, the other way we make passive income is kind of like the same way that Robinhood.com or Coinbase, Crypto.com, any of those guys make money themselves. In fact, if you guys have participated in cryptocurrency, go ahead and type in the exchange that you've used. If it's Coinbase or Robinhood, Crypto.com, if you've used any of those, go ahead and type in which one you've used before. I'm curious to see what we've got. But essentially, good for these guys. They thought of a brilliant business model where they created a platform where they provide cryptocurrency. Users go and trade that cryptocurrency. They pay a fee, and these companies make billions of dollars every single year on those fees. But what you might not have known is that when you signed up for your account and you signed that user agreement that nobody reads, in that user agreement, it says that if that platform runs a bad business and they go bankrupt, well, they get to seize all the assets on their platform and sell them to pay the debts to their creditors. And if you're lucky, you get any crumbs that are left over. And that's it. You carry all the risk. They get all the benefits of all the trading fees, and you are at a huge disadvantage. Well, we've got news for you. Crypto was not invented for big banks and venture capitalist firms to be able to get more wealthy. It was made for us, for citizens of the world, for you and me, to be able to come in here and we get to be part of deals that usually banks are only part of, or big companies. So rather than crypto.com or Robinhood putting up the assets, we can come in here and we can put them up in decentralized platforms. Now, I'm not going to go into tons of details, but essentially, we can put up the cryptocurrencies. It allows trading, and for that service, we get paid. Since we're participating in the service, and we get paid in really big ways. Here's some screenshots here at the bottom of one of my accounts. There was a new platform just like this that launched a few months ago. I knew what to expect, and so I went ahead and I put $100,000 up on this platform, and you can scale that number up and down based upon your own finances. But I put $100,000 up. You can see some of the daily mining rewards here. I come back in 30 days and magically there's $20,000 in profit on my 100 grand in 1 month. In 1 month. That's a 20% return in a month. And that's all passive. Once I set it up, the thing just runs itself. Once again, this isn't rocket science. Anybody can do it. I hope you guys can see yourself really getting in and doing this yourself as well.
I mean, you guys see that? Like, you can become the Coinbase. You can become the Robinhood. Did you know Binance makes $24 billion a year from that model that Dane was just talking about? You can do that. You can do it by you putting the assets up in the liquidity pools. I see Anthol mentioned Uniswap on here. That is a decentralized exchange where you can liquidity provide. You can go to, that's on the Ethereum blockchain. You can go and just put a couple assets onto those pools, and then the market swaps in and out of it, and you collect all the fees. You guys follow me? Is it making sense? It's not rocket science. This one here is a little bit of rocket science. I won't get too deep in it. Mining just means you're part of the network. So it's just a bunch of computers. All crypto is a bunch of computers all over the world that validate a ledger. It's just a ledger on the internet where all the information is saying whose money's who, where money's being sent where. That's all it is. And all mining is it validates the ledger. Whatever on it is true, and it makes new ledgers. Those ledgers in crypto are called blocks. You have a block, it gets full of information, it gets closed, it gets pushed down the line, and a new block comes, a new ledger, aka blockchain. And that's how that happens. And your computer can be one of the ones that creates those ledgers. And you get rewarded for doing so. And I like it because you get rewarded in the layer one. For example, Ethereum. Most people, it's funny, they go to Coinbase, they buy Ethereum, hope the number go up. Like Dane was talking about earlier, would you ever buy a rental property and not put a tenant in place? No, it's retarded. You can pull the Ethereum off of Coinbase, put it on the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is a gas and mining token. You can put the Ethereum to work for you, mine the blocks, and earn more Ethereum, passive income. Now, you do got to know how to run a server, so this gets a little bit more complex, and I do teach or help with our community members who do want to do this. It's not as lucrative as a liquidity providing. When you become the Coinbase, that's where you can make the most passive income. But this is still a very legitimate way that we love. So you guys follow me so far? Is this making sense? Give me a yes if you guys are understanding, and thank you.
So what we found is when Corey and I stepped away from real estate, it's a pretty crazy thing to say that you sold all your real estate to focus on crypto because we feel like it's the biggest opportunity right now. Once again, we just want to focus on the best available vehicle to grow wealth at any given point in the market. Crypto is the biggest opportunity for the next 12 to 18 months, period. There is nothing bigger. And our intention is to grow our wealth with cryptocurrency and preserve it with real estate. So we'll turn around, we'll take those profits, we'll go back and buy real estate deals and other assets when the time is right. And a bunch of our friends started reaching out to us and saying, you guys, this is crazy. What are you doing? And in order to just make it really simple, we decided to build a community where we can help everybody. We do webinars like this, and everybody can see themselves doing it and reaping the rewards of cryptocurrency. And then they can actually do it if they have some hand holding. This isn't rocket science. Once again, a little bit of hand holding goes a long way. So we built a community, and you can see some of the results here from a handful of our guys based largely upon how much money they had to start with. The more money you have to start with, of course, the more passive income you can make, and it can get pretty freaking bonkers. We feel incredibly blessed to be able to have our community and working with these guys every single day. To be able to help them get to some of the passive income just like this. This is one of our accounts, and you could see, I mean, it could get pretty bonkers where you can make, I mean, clear up to $100,000 in a quarter. We've had months where you made 100 grand in just a month.
Yeah.
Some of our members are making tens of thousands of dollars every single month. Just depends on you diving in and getting a little bit of exposure. Corey likes to say it all the time, where you don't have to bet the farm to buy a farm in cryptocurrency, and it's absolutely accurate.
So we do got a community, guys, and we won't get too salesy on this. We don't want to push anything, but we do want to, say that we do got a community. Let us know if you are interested. I do want to full disclosure and let you know who this is not for. So this is not for somebody who is not already understanding the concepts of delayed gratification. You guys are already here. You're real estate investors. You get what the mindset that you need to be a real estate investor. That's why we love real estate investors in our community. But if you do not have patience and you do not have the mindset to be in a delayed gratification investing mode, then this is not the community for you. Another, if this is not for you, if you don't have at least $5,000 of liquidity to put into the market, because we'll just be completely honest with you, unlike real estate, you can actually do real estate with no money down. Like, that's a real thing. You can go door knocking. You can do all these things to get deals with no money. You really can. But with crypto, that's not a thing. It really isn't. You need to have at least a little bit of liquidity to get started. And lastly, but not least, and you guys are all here, so I know this is not an issue with you. We don't want anyone in our community. This is not for anybody who doesn't want to change the trajectory of their lives, financial lives. In this, we are looking for people who are trying to create wealth. We want like-minded people in this community, and we are very, very passionate about it. So that's kind of a little bit about what we're not looking for. But what we are looking for, is like-minded people like yourselves. We do have a course. Most people don't watch the course, but it's there for a frame of reference. If you get bored on a Saturday, you can go through it. We always recommend people watching it, getting it done before if we do our private one-on-one calls. We do have group calls. The group calls are great for, like Dane had mentioned earlier, we can go in there and screen share and show how to get involved in these protocols, how we doing this due diligence, why we're investing in them. We could do Q&A. And then we also have our Telegram community, which is our exclusive crypto community. And basically, we're in there almost 24/7. If we're not in there, there's somebody in there 24/7 because we have 165 members all over the United States in there. And I mean, it's been awesome. And that's where we're talking about crypto, the protocols we're investing in. And like I mentioned earlier, we got some one-on-one coaching too. But yeah, that's what we got going on, guys. We do appreciate it so much. At the very least, I hope you can see the opportunity here. If you can see the opportunity here, please give me a yes. If you can see yourself doing this, please give me a yes. You don't necessarily have to come and do it with us, but you can go and participate a little bit in crypto because it is here to change the world. I promise you. Make no mistake about it. Blockchain is here to stay.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Fellas, that was awesome. So I wanted to open it up to the floor here. I know that some people had some questions, so let's jump right into the Q&As.
Ask anything, guys. There's no question like stupid. There's no stupid questions. Just ask anything. We love talking crypto.
Yeah. So you guys mentioned we were like in a phase right now where everything's about to shoot up pretty quickly. Do you know, I know no one has a crystal ball, but approximately how much time would I need to get myself together to be ready to get into something here? Is it like a month? Is it a week? Is it 2 months?
Question. Time
Hard
is
to
of the
predict.
essence.
Yeah.
I mean, the sooner the better. But I would say, you know, like if you could go and you could get your stuff together over, you know, I mean, preferably yesterday. But the next best thing, and they say the next best time to plant a tree is today. So I would say we've got a bunch of most of our guys in our community. We've got almost 170 people. They're real estate investors, and so it's pretty common that somebody's like, "Oh, I've got a deal. I need to go close before I have liquidity to go do this crypto thing." And so, you
Yeah.
know, our message is, hey, you know, like get some money together that you can utilize in the market that you don't need for a year. You can put it down, you can build your portfolio and let that thing ride. And so yeah, that's how I'd answer that.
Yeah, I agree with Dane on that. I you know, once again, with the delayed gratification that I was really emphasizing on earlier, I like to tell all my students, like, invest money that you don't need tomorrow, right? It's money that you can let sit, that you're not going to need to take out next month because you need operating expenses for your business. We want to let this money grow. But the good news is we only need to let it grow for 12 to 18 months. I mean, how long do we got to wait in real estate or even the stock market to like double, triple, quadruple our wealth? Where in crypto, you can do it in 12 to 18 months. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're not financial advisors, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm not giving any forward expectations, but this is what happens over and over again in crypto. Cryptocurrency is the highest appreciating asset known to mankind. Here's a fun statistic. In 2021, 20 and 21, in those 2 years, there was more millionaires and billionaires created and born out of cryptocurrency than any other niche in the world, including real estate. So let that sink in for a minute. When you're playing the bull market the right way, when you get in this stuff and you know the market cycles, you can create serious wealth. The idea is, though, you also want to get out of it when the market cycle shifts. When this time around, it'll be sometime in 2025. And so you just got to know how, do your due diligence and know how these market cycles work.
Yeah. Well, I just finished a home renovation, so I need a few more days to get my stuff together. So I might tap some sources because I hear what you're saying. I understand it 100%. So I'm going to do my best to try to get myself ready.
Yeah, get in and get ready. I'm telling you, now's the time. I love it.
Message received.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
We did have a question inside the chat here.
Yeah, by Antho. Antho is, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. It says, how do you help with communicating your crypto picks to invest in? That's a great question. So back to the idea that we want things to be incredibly passive. Like I said, you guys are out running and gunning, I'm sure. I'm sure you're busy, just like Corey and I are. And so we want to help people build a portfolio that they don't have to come in and manage frequently. And so in order to help communicate that, like Corey said, there's really two options. We have a course that's great. We have our private Telegram group where we're in there every single day talking about what's going on in the market. what we're doing, what we're buying, when we're buying, how much we're buying. We do bi-weekly calls. So we've got a ton of resources there. Or on the other hand, some people say, God bless you, Dane and Corey. We never want to watch your course. We just want to get to the money. And so if that's you and you just want to get to the money and do it fast, well, then we do one-on-one coaching for those type of individuals where we can just jump in literally in a few hours. We get you set up and you can just let it ride. If that's what you want, is truly to be as passive as possible, then we can set you up. We help build out a customized strategy directly for you during the coaching and then help you execute on it there as well. So that's how we run things. We want to make sure that we continually have hand holding so that you do things right. You don't get left behind. Great question.
Yep.
I think Rachel's up next. Go ahead, Rachel. Let her rip.
Oh,
You're muted.
Might be muted.
no, yeah.
Let her in, Eric.
All right.
Eric had to let me in. I was talking to myself. I said, how much do you charge? What are your fees?
It depends on what you want. So and it depends on your individual scenario. So we have like a cash pay program. We also had to do where it's just ongoing monthly payments for our community. Like I said, it really depends on you. In fact, we'd love to, if you guys wanted to jump on a call and talk about your individual circumstances and ways we might be able to plug you in and help you. We'd love to jump on a call. I don't know if this is appropriate, Eric, but if it is, I'd love to share our calendar invite and people can book a call if they want to jump on and we can kind of discuss that. You're saying yes.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and put that in the chat, Rachel, or for anyone else. If you wanted to jump on a call, it's just easier to be able to talk individual circumstances and give you some options that could work for you.
And we can dive deep in the price in there.
Yep. All right. I just posted in our chat. That's the link to our team calendar. Like I said, we'd be happy to talk to any of you. Even if you end up not joining our community, we want to make sure we're providing tons of value, helping everybody get set up. And most of all, we want to make sure that we're saving you from being a pure gambler, coming in and losing all your money and missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Just having a little bit of guidance and knowing how to do things can go a long way.
Did you I don't think you.
I don't
I
see it
sent it
either.
directly to Rachel. Let me send it to everybody.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. They directly sent me the message, but
I only want to
I would
talk with
also
you,
like to
Rachel.
talk to you about a separate opportunity, something else completely that you guys might be interested in because you do deal with this, and I don't want to do this here. Oh, so maybe you guys want to reach out privately. That'd be great.
Yeah,
There
I
we
see
go.
your you sent me your number. I'll go ahead and text you right now and we'd love to chat more. That'd be great.
Oh,
I'll text you right now. Yeah, this has been fun, guys. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat. We want to make sure we get you squared away.
I have a couple of questions. So would you like any like coins that are on the, let's just say on Coinbase, right?
Okay.
Say if we were just to go and look and search, right? And Coinbase is there and we're trying to look, like, is there a certain like area to look for good deals?
Let me answer this.
Yeah, you take that one, Corey.
Yeah. Eric, what's the best real estate deals? Off market or on market?
Off market.
Okay. Why is it different for crypto? Why would you go on the market to where the most retail, the most exposure, where everyone is seeing to buy those cryptos? The best cryptos to buy is find cycle one new coins that are purely decentralized DeFi, where they're not listed on any exchange, where they're harder to get to and buy. Those are the ones that you're going to get the 20x, the 50x, the 100x, the 500x. Going to Coinbase and like say, I'll give you an example. I'll give you some hot narratives that you can look on Coinbase. AI, obviously, right? Most people know that as a hot narrative. You can go and pick some AI coins, and you probably will get yourself a free 5x. It's pretty, just because the retailer is buying that. It's the same with gaming. Gaming was a last cycle narrative, but it's it's coming back this cycle. But if you really want the mad gains, you got to get off the centralized exchange. You got to get into DeFi. You got to get into where you have your keys on a hardware wallet and you're engaging directly with the blockchain. and then you're buying those coins as they launch. Now, you just don't want to buy anything. You want to buy stuff that has product market fit. You want to do your due diligence. You want to make sure they're audited. You want to make sure they have a community behind it, because there's a lot of different steps you got to take. Just like you do a due diligence in a real estate deal. You'll find a real estate deal off market. You'll go through the due diligence process. You want to make sure it fits your buy box. We have a buy box too for crypto. And you want to make sure it fits and check marks all those. And then you go ahead and invest. And then usually we invest first, and then we let our community know, like, hey, this is what we invested in. This is why we invested in it. Here's a due diligence we found. Maybe we found a coin that through due diligence, there was some red flags. We'll be like, well, hey, I'm only investing $1,000 in this because I found this red flag and this red flag, but there's still a lot of upside potential, but I didn't like the risk. I'm only throwing a small little amount. And we explain that to our community and why. So, yeah, I mean, you can go on Coinbase, you can look at AI. Those are, that's going to be a popular narrative. Gaming's a popular narrative. DPIN, it's called DPIN, DEPIN, which is real world assets. That's going to be a popular narrative. But most of the stuff you're going to, actually, all the stuff you find on Coinbase is cycle 2. So that's you can get gains out of them. Don't get me wrong. You can make money, just like you can make money on an MLS deal. You can buy a real estate deal on an MLS and make money, but typically you're going to find the sweeter deals off market.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's see here. Looks like
Brian's a wholesaler, man. I understand that
Brian
pain, bro.
gets it.
I was a wholesaler for a long time. And you're right. Yeah, I got most of my deals off. I used to run PPC, direct to seller is how I got all my deals as a wholesaler.
Anto asked another good question. Yeah, you're starting your own coins. So we're not launching any tokens ourselves. What we are working on though is we're working on a platform where you could bring real estate deals to the blockchain to get them funded. In fact, Rachel mentioned it earlier, where we're talking about, it's called NFT 404 tech, where you can go in, and rather than, getting into a syndication, putting $100,000 in and not being liquid, not being able to do anything with that for 3 to 5 years often, if you do it through crypto, through 404 NFT tech, you can actually sell portions of your NFT. You're super liquid. You can get in and out of those positions pretty easily. There's some really, really cool things going on in that respect. So we'll have to touch base on that a little bit, Rachel. It'd be fun to hear what you have going on.
Cool.
Thank
Love
you,
it.
Dane. I'd rather just talk to you guys at another time. I don't want to take away from your event here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Cool.
So, I got one question, guys. I think earlier you said maybe like five grand is a good start, or 1,000, or what's kind of the sweet spot to start, so to speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Corey.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's whatever what you're comfortable with, right? I don't know your financial situation. I don't know your risk tolerances. In general, if people don't have at least 5K of liquidity to invest, it's hard to be, participating in our community, right? And so, like, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and buy crypto if you only have $1,000. If you only have $1,000, that's fine. You could go and buy crypto. It's just that ideally we'd want people with at least 5K of liquidity to invest with, so that way they can really reap the benefits of the community. That's all we're saying. But yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. You don't got to bet the farm to buy the farm. Our buddy literally did that, like Dane was talking about earlier. And it's funny, his story is that in Houston, there was a big hurricane. I can't remember what it's called. It wasn't Maria. Maria was here in Puerto Rico. It was a huge hurricane that came through Houston a few years back. And it wiped out his home. It wiped out like his cars. He was broke. He put his last $300 in the hex. And that turned into $1.2 million. And that's where he bought that farm. I've always been saying that saying, and we met this guy like 2 months ago at the event. I'm like, damn, he really did. He really didn't bet the farm, and he bought the farm. I was like, wow. It's really cool. So yeah, I mean, a little bit goes a long ways. But of course, more the better. I mean, we got guys, start with 5K in our community, and we got guys who come in with $1 million. So, I mean, everyone's different. Hope
Very,
that helped.
very cool. Very cool. Anyone else? We have a couple more minutes.
Couple more minutes.
Yeah, 4 more minutes.
No question too simple. Come on, bring it on.
No.
Or complicated. We don't care. We love it.
Oh,
Wait, so you guys are thinking we're like in cycle 1 right now?
We are in the beginning of the cycle. The bull run will start technically after the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving is in April 20th. And so right now is what we call the accumulation zone, where not with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already been in the bull run, but with all the other cryptos, we are still in the accumulation zone, and that those start taking off after the halving. Now, whether it's 2 to 4 months after the halving, we're not going to tell you exactly the day they'll start really running, and each ecosystems will run independent of themselves. So it's like, we don't know when, but we know the general markets will lift up and start running after the Bitcoin halving, which is in April 20th.
cool. Great.
The advice different for different folks or generally different things. Yeah, I mean, I'll read it. Is your advice different for the different folks or generally the similar things? I think I understand what you're trying to say. So basically in our community, we're just, talking about what we're buying, why we're buying it, how much we're buying. We never give financial advice. We're never going to tell you, hey, go put 5K into coin B. It's just not what we're going to do. We're going to tell you what we're doing. And then it's up to you if you want to go and do what we do. Now we have a lot of community members who are buying some other things too, and that's perfectly fine. They do their own due diligence. You don't have to stick to what we're buying, but we were letting you know what we're doing, why we're doing it, how much we're doing, the due diligence we found, and that's the thought process. We eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. So the beautiful thing is you can go out and crush the world, whether you're wholesaling, fixing, flipping, you're doing rentals, whatever you're doing, you can go out and do that, 8-10 hours a day. We eat, sleep, and breathe crypto now. It's all I do out here in Puerto Rico is I do crypto and I hang out with family. That's it. It's my entire life and it's my passion. And so you can rely on that and let us bring all the due diligence to you on a silver plate. You're leveraging our time now by being part of our community. Does that make sense? Do you follow me? Cool.
Yep. I actually have one more question. All right. So I bought back in 2017 and I used the My Ether wallet thing, right?
Mining with the wallet, was it Pi?
I think so. And
Project, yeah.
so basically on that kind of back end, which would be basically off market, I could find kind of coins there. Or
you want to find coins on chain.
Okay.
In DeFi. So whether it's on the Ethereum blockchain or Avalanche blockchain, you can go to Dex Screener. Dex Screener is a great off-market tool, I guess you could say, where you can view all the different coins on every different chain. But there's a lot. Ethereum alone has probably around 50,000 coins. Wow. Ethereum alone. And so something like Pulse Chain that we love, that is only 10 months old, remember, being early is key. Something that we love, it's already got 300 that's already out and it's only 10 months old. So it's it takes a lot of due diligence, a lot of sifting through, I guess, the haystack to find the needle in the haystack kind of thing. And it takes a lot, and not all of them are going to work out and some are going to work out great. Right. And, but we do our best for doing due diligence. I mean, we do so much. We go as far as going into the Telegram and integrating with the community and the devs. I want to go and ask the founder questions. I want to ask the dev team questions. I want to read not only the white paper, I want to read the audits. What does the audit say? Is there admin keys? Okay, if there's admin keys, what does the founder do with the admin keys? Can he inflate the token to oblivion? I want to know these things before I put my money into them. So this is part of the due diligence process that you got to go through to mitigate risk. I mean, this is cryptocurrency. This is the wild, wild west of finance. It's not regulated. You have to regulate your own your own cryptos. You got to do it because Big Brother's not doing it, which is also why we love it, right? We love that part of it.
Yeah. Amazing.
But Deck Screener's a good tool there, Eric, if you didn't catch
Okay.
that. That's a really,
Yeah.
if you want to like say, hey, I want to see all the coins on Solana. Boom, you can go there and you just, you see all the coins Solana. I want to see all the coins on Avalanche. You'll see all the coins. And then you'll have to, you know, just, there's a lot of them though. There's a lot.
All right. That's great, man. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
BTC estimate for the bull run. Woo! I don't like giving, you know, price calls because obviously no one's got a crystal ball. But I mean, it's going to be much higher than it is now. This is nothing because we're not even close to the euphoria moment when retail's coming in. And I'm not excited. I'm not that excited about BTC. BTC will be fine. Like it's going to go higher. What I'm excited about is the Ethereum ETF and how high Ethereum could go. That's what gets me excited because when Ethereum goes up, all the other layer one blockchains also go up. All that liquidity flows over into the other layer ones. And so a lot of the stuff that we love are layer ones. And so I'm more excited. Like we'll know more clarity in May when the Ethereum ETF it's coming. It's just a matter of when. And that's what's got me really excited. Like Dane said it earlier, Bitcoin, like, look, you can go buy Bitcoin and get a 2 or 3x, maybe even a 4x if we got crazy euphoric. Man, literally, dude, I could make a 2x flipping a house. Like I didn't get into crypto for a 2x. I didn't, man. I got into crypto to make a 10x, a 20x, a 50x, a 100x. That's why I got into crypto. You know what I mean? It's like E10K. I mean, I'm not making price calls, but I think it can go higher. It can go higher if the
Especially
Ethereum
with the
ETF gets approved. We're watching that like a hawk. That is huge. If the ETH goes up to, you know, teens or 20K, man, it's over. It's like me and Dane are gonna be out on yachts, and we'll invite all you guys.
Yeah, I want to be there. I want to be there. All right.
We'll invite you guys to come out, and it'll be a party. It'll be me and Dane don't drink, but I'll buy you guys some booze. Screw it.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Well,
Yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and end. Before we do, I wanted to obviously thank the both of you for coming on and explaining everything. It was awesome. Again, I'm still learning from you guys and from having you around. Thank you. Also, I know Dane that you posted something in the messages, but how can they connect to you guys?
Yeah, the best way is to schedule a call with our team. That way we can jump in and look at your individual things. So feel free to click on the link and schedule time. If you want to, you can check us out on social media. On in fact, Corey, if you want to put in the chat your username as well. So mine is Money Talk with Dane on Instagram.
And guys, book a call. It's free. Like literally, we're gonna look and assess your crypto portfolio and talk about get deeper into all this stuff. I mean, you don't have to join our community. I mean, this is free. This is our gift to you guys. Come and talk to us. We love it.
Thank you.
Love it. The IG is the Corey Gary. You could DM us on the Corey Gary. You could DM me and be like, hey, I was on Eric's Zoom and want to know more or whatever. It's me who answers my DMs. It's not a VA or anybody. So
sweet. Awesome, fellas.
Eric, we
Thank
appreciate you,
again.
brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we go, I just want everyone to know that if you like this or you like our webinars, you like our meetups, you can always go to likemindedpro.com. You find all the events that are happening around the country. We're actually in 4 states now, which is awesome and continuing to grow. So we really appreciate everyone. Thank you all and much love. Let's go get them, huh?
see you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.